ahead of the pack. Max Pappas, the 64 car, getting aggressive there. He's now showing back in the top 10, trying to gain some spots. Oh, whoa. Contact. Ambrose is off the 25 car. Hit Pappas, damage on the left pass. Keselowski, Coleman, cars sliding all over in the grassy area off turns 1 and 2.
Boris Said is tore up big time, guys. He's got the worst. So look at Max Pappas, left front fender. Caution flag is waving now.
And you know who's smiling? Ruben Pardo, because he pitted at lap 35. He probably needed 10 to 12 caution laps to make it. It's looking better and better for him.
Caution number 5, and there is Ruben Pardo, the 28-year-old Mexico City driver. He is from Mexico City, now lives part-time in Charlotte, North Carolina. And he told me yesterday, he said, we desperately need to have a good finish to get sponsorship so I can drive in this series in this car for the rest of the year. There's Boris Said, climbing out of his damaged car, one of the best road course racers, and in fact, after almost winning in Daytona in the Cup car a couple of years ago, one of the best racers, period.
He's got himself in a lot of trouble today. Had the brake problem earlier where he slid off the course and he got spun out earlier. Got in this one here. It looks like he got into it with Marcus Ambrose. Max Pappas gets tied up in it. This was a big one right here, guys. This is one that the caution flags seem to always breed caution flags, and I didn't expect that big a pileup right there, that's for sure.
Show you again what happened. 59 is Ambrose, right behind Boris Said.
You know, it actually looks like Boris just actually got a little bit loose getting into turn 1, Ray, and checked up a little bit, and Ambrose didn't have much area to go to.
Yeah, it looked like Boris was just a little bit sideways. Marcos was on him, and when Boris corrected to come back, he kind of hooked him and spun him down, and of course Max came along with nowhere to go.
And now watch Kyle Busch here. He just goes out of your screen there. He goes around this mess. There's Max Pappas just staying on the racetrack, and here comes Boris right across in front of him. He gets the heavy damage.
Now, the tough part about this, guys, there's so much debris and so much dust, you just can't see anything. And that's the reason some of these guys got into it. Look at that.
Now, coming back outside, clear to the bottom. Take a hard left and go. All clear. Work the high side.
Patrick Carpentier making a nice move to get around. There's Kelly Byers and Brad Keselowski just going off the course, completely skipping from turn 2 over toward turn 3 and 4.
I tell you what, when you leave this racetrack, there's nothing on the car clean. It's the dirtiest track when we leave, and it's too bad for Max Pappas. You see the engine overheating right now. Had a good run going. Another good solid top 10 out of that 64 team.
Boris Said had told us before the day he had a good feeling this was going to be his day. He said, if I could get my first NASCAR road course victory, I'm going to shave the Said head completely off, and I'll come to ESPN and show everybody. It was not to be today for Boris as he walks away. Well, 55 of 80 laps are complete. And Boris a little bit angry here before he goes and gets in the ambulance. He is not a happy camper. Marcus Ambrose coming by there, and Boris venting his emotions.
Yeah, he's obviously upset at Marcus. I mean, I honestly think, guys, that was just a racing accident. I mean, I saw Boris get really loose, and although Boris didn't back into him, that's for sure, but he got awful tight there.
Well, we're going to see what's going to happen. Everyone's getting aggressive as we're getting closer to the checkered flag. Restart when we come back. The NASCAR Nationwide Series in Mexico City is presented by Kawasaki. Let the good times roll. And in part by Tractor Supply Company, the stuff you need out here. Under caution for the 6th time today, 16 total laps, a real shunt among different cars down in turn 1. Boris Said and the 59 car of Marcus Ambrose, the 2 primary cars involved. There's the heavily damaged 25 Ed Renzi owned car. We'll see again what happened.
You know, it looks like Boris actually got loose as he exited turn 1 and slowed up a little bit. And Marcus Ambrose was just all over the back of his car and ended up hitting him and spinning him. And that's what Boris is so upset about.
Back it up a little bit more, see him going into turn 1.
See, Marcus hasn't touched him at all yet. He's just sliding the back of Boris's car. It whips back around, and that's when Marcus gets in the back of him. And man, all heck breaks loose now. You can't see anything, guys, with all that dust.
And so road rage continues on the road courses. Boris Said is not happy with Marcus Ambrose and lets him know on the way by.
I'm glad he didn't throw that helmet. Those things cost about $2,000.
It seems
he
like
held on to it.
Boris must have felt that Marcus was on the back of him. And by the way, Boris is 6'6". I don't know. I'd want to get him that mad.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But you know, you ever seen Marcus? He's pretty tough too. I mean, they're both tough, Boris and him.
While these guys are trying to simmer down, there's a lot of thinking going on among the lead cars and their crew chiefs about the fuel mileage game. We've seen a lot of caution flags. Can they make it? And what about the extra laps? Let's listen into the radio in the 40 car.